What's up, you guys? Brian with Conejo Vending. Today we're going to fix up a couple of vending machines. We've got this one here that we just picked up, a used machine that's going to need a lot of love, and this one here a customer dropped off with us that they asked us to do some repairs. So let's take a look at what's going on with them. So the first thing we're going to do is work on this red one because it's a customer machine. The blue one is in pretty good shape, unlike this red one, but it's nasty inside. That's gonna be all clean. So we're gonna start and see, first of all, what's wrong with this red one because it's a customer thing, and I don't know, I like to prioritize customers over myself. So first thing we gotta look at is we gotta get it plugged in.
Is that a GoPro?
So step 0, plugging it in, and the wire's torn. So we threw some electrical tape on that just so that we don't die. Now let's plug this puppy in and see what happens. So I'm gonna stand here, so go ahead and plug her in. Wait a minute. Hey, there's life. Okay, so with new machines, we've got, not new machines, machines that are new to us. We've got a couple of main things. The first thing when looking at a vending machine is if it doesn't get cold, it's just not worth it. The compressors and everything else involved, the wiring is a nightmare. So if we can't get it cold, basically walk away. So step 0, we want to see if we can get it cold. All right, so got this all closed back up. Now we're just gonna wait for this guy to get cold and go from there. What are you gonna do? All right, so the machine isn't really getting cold at all. Is that? When he said he drilled out the lock, he wasn't joking. He drilled out the lock. Okay, so the machine's not getting cold at all, but the owner insists that it gets cold. So we're gonna go through the testing on this. Now, the big things to test on a machine are gonna be the dollar bill acceptor, the coins, card reader if there is one, you usually put one right there, and to make sure all these motors work for stuff to come out. Now, the problem is that if I try and test it right now, first of all, we have no display, which there should be a display, but display aside, it won't work because the buttons aren't pushed down. So if we look inside the machine, there's a little pedal right here, and that lets the machine know that stuff is in it. So if that button is not pushed down, the machine will think that it's empty. So before we can even test anything, we have to actually throw sodas in here to make sure that the machine thinks it's full. Okay, so we didn't fill her up, but we got some sodas in every slot to give this a test. And the first thing that I'm noticing is that we have this button showing that it's out. All the rest of the buttons seem to be indicating that there's stuff in it, but this one's not. And part of my problem is I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buttons. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 motors, which is just a really weird way to do that because, like, there's 3 of these small slots. So if I had to guess, I would guess that both of these are number 1, this is number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if I had to guess. But we're gonna find out. So now what we gotta do is see if this puppy takes any money. So first things first, does the bill acceptor work? Nope. Doesn't even look like it has belts. We have got no light on, so the whole dollar bill acceptor is probably fried. So part 2, let's see if this thing takes change at all. I don't think. Right out. So that came right out. That, I'm not sure. With these older machines, sometimes it's because the dollar bill acceptor doesn't work and the dollar bill acceptor controls the other parts, but we're not accepting change either. So at this point, frankly, if you were buying this machine and you found out that the dollar bill acceptor doesn't work, the change doesn't seem to work, and it doesn't seem to get cool, and there's apparently problems with the motor, run away. Run away. But we're gonna keep chipping away at this and see what we can do. All right, so for this machine, first and foremost, these buttons we can't even test because we can't get the dollar bill acceptor to work. The coin machine we can't test because we can't get the dollar bill acceptor to work. What I do know is that this light's on, which probably means either they think that one's full or that one's empty. I think it thinks that one's empty, which is a problem, which means that that one isn't working at all. On modern machines, we know that there's a computer system and we can do diagnostics and push a bunch of buttons and test a bunch of stuff. On these old machines, it's so old, there's no computer system. I think it's all attached here into the dollar bill acceptor, but I don't know that 100%. And then past that, all these parts are so old that we can only find newer models. I don't know if the newer models would work. I don't know if the connections would be the same. Now, if they do work, then, you know, dollar bill acceptor is around $300-400. The coin machine is around $200-300. New lock is another, whatever, $15-20, nothing crazy. We can't even test this. We can't test the motors at all, because in order to test the motors, we've got to pick some selections or do the computer work, which it doesn't have a computer. And then inside here, it's not cold at all. Not cooling whatsoever. So, to fix this machine, if it was even possible, if we could find the parts, it'd probably be like $1,500-2,000. You can just buy a good refurbished machine for that price. So for this guy, I'm gonna more or less call it a total loss, and we'll move on to the next machine. All right, so back to Big Blue. So to recap, we need to fix all of our buttons to make all of our selections good. We need to, well, the coin seems to be working relatively well. It definitely needs to be cleaned. Dollar bill acceptor is not working. It takes the dollars halfway in before it spits it out. So we need to replace the dollar bill acceptor. At minimum, we need to clean up this coin machine. At minimum. When it's plugged in, it has a message on there saying to replace the battery. So we're going to have to replace the battery on that. That's going to be a whole thing. And one of the biggest issues is it's a mess. It is so gross. So we have to wipe down and clean the whole thing to make it sanitary. We got to figure out what the heck is up with this little door. And then if we can get all that done, everything works, everything's hunky-dory, then we can start talking about installing a card reader. So, I would say let's get started, but I think that the easiest way to get started is going to be with replacing the dollar bill acceptor and going and cleaning from there. Taking off the messy things is probably the way to go before we start cleaning. So let's dig right in. All right, so we got the new dollar bill acceptor on, and it took our money. It shows $1. We push our number 2. Hey, we got a soda. Wonderful. So dollar bill acceptor down. Let's start cleaning. I think cleaning is going to be the next step. All right, so we got all the sodas out of the machine. I think, I hope. Let me know if I missed one. So now we can get this puppy clean. So when you're cleaning machines, it's really important to make sure you don't get water where it's not supposed to be. And so you don't want to get water like in this, right? So you want to use an air compressor first to blow out as much crap as you can to get it super, super clean. And then whatever doesn't blow out after that, we got to wipe down. And very clearly we got a lot of wiping to do. So you're gonna notice as we're cleaning this machine that this filter right here gets a little bit of extra love. That's because that's the air intake for the cooling system, and if that goes, basically the whole machine is totaled. So it's really, really important that you always keep that filter clean. Now, keeping in mind this is, you know, food, so the whole thing does need to be clean enough to eat off of in general, but because of how expensive this part is, it's definitely gonna get a little extra love. All right, so now we've got a working dollar bill acceptor, working coin stuff. We're all clean on the inside. If it'll open. These guys always get stuck. I don't know what is about that, but like, it always winds itself when you shut it tight. All right, so inside we are much, much, much cleaner. And we're ready to rock and roll. The only thing we're missing is the card reader. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's 6 o'clock and I'm done, I'm going home. And so, that's it for this week. So now I'm gonna head home and we're gonna see the next couple days if we can find some locations for all these machines. So for the folks watching, I haven't cleaned up the yard, cleaned up the machines, but not the space here. We got a couple of combo machines that need a new home. We got the snack machine that needs a new home, and we have the soda machine that needs a new home. We also have a snack machine that's quite large and a little bit older on one of our locations we need a new home for. So we're gonna be looking to either place all of those or sell all of those on top of always being available to get new machines. So in the meantime, stay tuned and we'll have more updates for you next week.